Hello. Now it was a long time ago I did an update on this project, and I have had some setbacks. I ended up finishing the replacement of the petrol tank, so I put it in the trunk instead to get higher clearance. And then I went up to a terrain meeting and did some really nice off-road driving, but ended up sliding down a cliff in quite high speed, and in the end I jumped on a big pile of dirt and flew a couple of meters, which was a bit too much for the car, so I had some problems. One of the things that happened was the roof rack just broke itself off the mounts and got tossed away and landed several meters in front of the car. And my front axle took the hardest hit, and I ended up bending this mount for the lower control arm, and there is some seal on the axle that's broken because the oil is dripping out through the end of the axle tube. So what I will do is to replace the axle with another one I have bought, and I will try to do some axle truss for it to strengthen it up. And then I have my rear axle. For some reason it is quite much noise from it while driving. I would guess it's the pinion bearing that is bad. So I'm gonna actually change the rear axle to try to strengthen it too, and buy new bearings for it. And the reason I haven't done anything for so long time is that first I was busy with other stuff, and then I moved to Singapore for a while, but now I'm back in Sweden. And yesterday I started up the Jeep, and it started perfectly fine after 1.5 years standing still. But when I stopped it, I realized that all my coolant liquid went out on the ground. So it's really hard to see where it comes from, but it's somewhere here in the front of the engine. And I would guess that it's the water pump. The water pump is located behind this trolley. So I will probably have to buy a new water pump and replace it. And today when I came back, I saw that it had been dripping petrol on the ground. And that's really annoying because I just finished the change of petrol tank. But I bought this petrol tank second hand, and apparently this was in bad condition too, so it had started leaking. So I will have to change that one again. So that's what I'm gonna do the nearest time: changing axles, renovating them, and petrol tank and water pump. Anyway, one more thing. I've had some struggle with the brakes. Every time I'm driving long distances, they are getting stuck and getting hot, and when I drove back down from the terrain meeting, this brake got totally stuck and I couldn't get it to work, so I could drive back down. So I had to actually remove the calipers and just strap them to the lower control arm, so I could drive the last distance home to the workshop. So I'm gonna renovate all the brakes all around the car too. So I have some stuff to do. Okay, so now I have lifted it up and taken off the wheels. So the next step, we can remove the brake rotors, and if the caliper is off, this should just slide off quite easily, like that. And I can show you on the other side how to remove the caliper. You just have to remove these two bolts, this one and this one. And I think it's number 13. Yes, should be. Just remove this. And I don't think you have to take it all the way out. Then you should just be able to tilt the whole thing off. Maybe you do have to take them the whole way out. It could be that the brake are pushing against the brake disc, which it seemed like in this case. So yeah, I think the easiest thing is just to take a hammer and carefully knock on it to see if we can get it loose. I can probably knock it this way to press the cylinders back in. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so finally I managed to get it loose enough so I can put this in between the caliper and the brake disc and just gently, oops, yeah, you should probably be a bit more careful and then that, but that worked out, so now I can remove this one too. Okay, so now we have this part is the wheel hub, and you can see the end of the screws holding it here. You have to access them here from the back side. It's 3 of them, and it's 12 points ahead, I think. So yeah, you should probably have a 12-point key to get them loose. Okay, so there is no way on earth I can separate these hubs from the other parts. They are too rusted up. But actually it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to use this axle. I have my other axles over here, and they look quite much better. I think it will still be tough to get them off, but yeah, they look much better. Okay, so first I had to remove, see if you can see it, the mount on which the ABS sensor is, or the ABS wire is mounted on this one. You just loosen the 2 bolts and then you can remove it. And now we should be able to see the screw a bit better. Let's see. down there in the center screen, you can see the bolt that holds on to the end of the spring. So we should loosen that and loosen these 2 bolts. And then the axle should drop down on this side. Okay, so now I managed to get off the other bolt in there. So the coil is free to go. And yeah, next is these 2 bolts. So yeah, it's just a 13 branch. And one way to make more room is to steer over the wheels to the left when you do this side, and to the right when you do the other side. And yeah, before I loosen it all the way, I should probably put something beneath the axle so it doesn't fall down. That wouldn't be very good. Okay, so I just realized that you have to have another key and hold it still on the bottom. So this is just, yeah, just remove the bolts. So after a long while struggling, I managed to get all the bolts for this one off too. So next is the steering linkage, and yeah, we need to get rid of the track bar and the steering link. So to get the steering link off, here on the pitman arm there is a bolt that we can remove, and you first need to take out the sprint. It's like you can see on this one. It can be really hard to get the pin out if it's rusty, but yeah, it should be possible. And then we just remove that one, and we have 2 bolts up there, and we have 2 under here to get this whole bracket off. And then we just release the upper and lower control arms, and we should be ready to go.